I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching accesstv.org.
Welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. Today, we're going to visit Mary Beth Louise. If you could remember Mary Beth Louise, she's the one that played Santa Claus when she was a young girl, and because she wanted to give so much to the poor, and she found out that all the giving she got, all the giving she gave, that she got so much more in return. And she asked her mother, what happened? Why did this happen? How come I go out with a full bag and I gave away all the gifts to the boys and girls? And I went to church and I saw the baby Jesus and the people singing the songs, and she wasn't very religious. And when I come back, my bag is still full. And she says to her mother, Mama, what happened? Well, these days, Mary Beth Louise is a mother herself. And her children are kind of sitting around her. Mama's gone, and now she's a mother. And she sits there thinking about when Mama was here. You remember when Mama was here? And the way we did things, and the Christmases, and how I drove her crazy with my ideas. And she would say, oh, please, Mary Beth, please, not another dream. Well, Mary Beth was sitting there and her children were sitting around her, and she started to tell them some stories about her mother, about Christmas, and just one little story after the other. And her children would say, Mommy, tell me some more, tell me some more. What about Grandma? What about your brothers? What about your sisters? Oh, how did you meet Daddy? Oh, all these things. You remember those things that your mother used to tell you. And I kind of encourage you to tell your children's stories. Well, Mary Beth Louise told this story to her children. She said, when I was in school, I used to dream a lot. And they said, yeah, Grandma used to tell us how you used to dream and drive her crazy, Ma. I said, but I dreamt a lot. And I didn't dance a lot or go out with the other young people too much because I felt nervous and I was shy. And they would laugh at me, so I didn't go with them too often. I kind of just sat around and didn't say too much except do my dancing and singing and dreaming. And yes, I probably did drive everybody crazy. But one time, and I had my first job, and I was all excited. And my girlfriend said, oh, Mary Beth, what are you excited about? Oh, you don't have a boyfriend. You don't have this. Mary Beth, you're just so different. You're just jealous of us. What are you going to do? I said, but I got my first job, I said, and I'm going to buy Christmas gifts. What are you going to buy, Mary Beth? You dress like a rag. What are you going to buy? I'm going out and I'm buying everybody gifts, and I'm buying new clothes for myself too. She says, I can't wait to see this. Well, I went out to buy the clothes. I got paid, more money than I had ever had in my life. And I went out shopping, Christmas shopping for my family. Oh, it was so wonderful. And trying to buy gifts for myself. And all of a sudden I got into the store, and you know what? I didn't know how to shop. I didn't know what to buy. I didn't know what to buy them. I didn't know what to buy myself. And I said, I'll start with my dad, I said. And I went around and looked until I found the perfect present for my dad. And I said, oh, this is a sweater. Dad will like this sweater. And I bought that sweater. And then I went and looked for my mom. I couldn't think. I said, oh, Mom never has anything. Well, maybe I'll buy her a dress. And I looked around at all the dresses. I really didn't know what kind of dress I should buy my mother. I wasn't really very good at shopping because, Dad used to buy all of our clothes and he used to go to different secondhand stores and he used to bring them home and Grandma used to bring clothes home. And I thought that they were the most wonderful clothes. I loved them. But going into a store and actually buying clothes was not my thing. So I look around and I finally said, this is the perfect dress for my mother. Oh, she will love this. And so I bought that dress. And then I had two presents. And then I bought a dress for my grandmother. And I bought presents for my brother and my sister. Not too big gift for them. And it was time to shop for me. And so Mary Beth went all around. Yes, I did. I went all around shopping for me. I had absolutely no idea what to buy for me. So I saw this dress and I saw this skirt that looked a little familiar, looked like something I'd wear. And I kind of bought them. And I went home and I wrapped all my presents and it was just so wonderful. And on Christmas Day, I didn't wear my things. And on Christmas Day, my mom opened her present and she saw the dress. I was so happy. I was loving. Isn't it wonderful, Mom? Isn't that dress wonderful? I said, oh, I was just so happy. I did not notice the look on Mom's face. And actually, I never saw that dress again. I don't think she wore it once. Nor did my grandmother. Well, I think I did see my grandmother in hers once. It really did not look very well, but she wore it just because she loved me so much. My brother and sister, I don't know what they thought of their gifts. And when I put on my clothes and looked in the mirror, I said, this is not exactly what I thought. I would look fabulous like my girlfriends. They look so fabulous in their clothes. And I didn't look so fabulous, I thought. And of course, my girlfriend, she came along and she laughed at me. I told you you would do it right. And I felt very bad. And it took me a long, long time after that to learn how to shop. But I also learned this. If I liked it, I liked it. And it didn't matter if they liked it or not. And so I still just dressed the way I want to dress. And so my children said, yes, Mom, you really do dress just the way you want to. Just the way I want to dress, that's the way I dress. So that was one of those stories of Mary Beth Louise. She dresses the way she wanted to dress. She dreamed the way she wanted to dream, and that's just the way it is. And I told my children another story, a very nice story about growing up. Ma, they said, what about growing up? I said, well, I used to tell stories to everybody when I was growing up. And when my brother and my sister, they went off to college, I said, you know what happened? I wanted my own apartment. And my mom said, I don't think maybe it's quite the time, Mary Beth, but I wanted my own apartment. And I went out and got my own apartment. And you might have heard this story before because my children heard this story many times before. But they love me to tell them because one day it's going to be them. And so I went to get this apartment. I was so afraid I took Mom with me. And the lady said, if you had not brought your mother with you, I would never have rented this apartment to you. I said, but I was happy. And I got my apartment. And me and my mom one day, we just started cleaning that apartment. And oh, it was one of the most wonderful days that I ever had with my mom. And and nighttime came and we sat down and we ate our dinner. It was great. It was great. And then after a while, my mother just decided it was time to go home. I was busy doing other things. Mom put on her coat. And I said, hey, Ma, where you going? And she said, this is your home, and I am going to my home now. I'll see you later. And I said, wait a minute. You're leaving now? And Mom looked into my face and she said, this is your home now. I'm going to my home. I'll see you later. And there I was in this apartment all by myself. For the first time in my life, I was in an apartment all by myself, and it was my apartment. And I was so scared. For what reason, I don't know. But I was so scared. I didn't understand that when you have your own apartment, your mom's not there. Your dad's not there. Nobody's there but you. Well, that night when I went to bed, I could hardly sleep at all in that house. That's why when I began to work with people and I got them apartments and they hadn't had an apartment in a long time, or maybe some of them never had an apartment and they couldn't stay in it, and they would come back to the shelter. I understood that feeling of loneliness and not quite knowing what to do in your first apartment all by yourself. But you soon learn. And it turned out to be a wonderful apartment and a wonderful experience for me. If you can stay in your apartment and learn to grow as a person and to create your own life, that was the thing. It was the first time I really created my own life, my own space. It was wonderful. Not at first, I couldn't decorate. I couldn't do anything. I tried all of these things. Some of them didn't work. I didn't have any furniture. Really, my aunt gave me her couch. It was such a wonderful experience now that I'm older, and one that my children will experience one day too. But right now, we have to go to commercial. So I will be right back, and we're going to tell the original story of Mary Beth Louise. I'll see you in a moment.
AccessTV.org. Your family, your friends, we are where you are.
How do you judge a law firm's success? Cases won, money made, or what the firm does in the community? At Dressler Strickland, we know that success is just the beginning. The true measure of success is what you do with it. For 33 years, we've used our success to help our neighbors and our community. 24/7, 11/22. Whenever you need us, we'll be there. Dressler Strickland, building communities one case at a time.
accesstv.org, covering your world around the way.
Welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. And we've been telling little stories about Mary Beth Louise. And, you know, Mary Beth Louise was created in my mind when I had to write a piece for the United Church of Christ, the newspaper. And I was working at night. And it was the next day I had to turn in this story. And this piece, and I had no story to tell. And I hadn't worked on it, and I was tired. I always overwork. That's my thing. And I brought a tape recorder to work, and I said to myself, I want to talk until a story comes up. And so I talked through this tape recorder all night long. I talked and I talked and I talked and I talked. And before you knew it, before morning, Mary Beth Louise was born. Oh my goodness. And I said, wow, what a story that is. You know, not thought out. So now it's on a tape recorder. And so I take it to Sherman Street and United Church of Christ. And I said, okay, here's the story. Somebody's going to have to type it up. So they did. They typed up the story. It was very long. They typed up the story and they put it in the paper. Well, they liked the story so much that they took it around to senior homes and had them listen to the story. So, excuse me. So the story went all around to different senior centers and senior homes. And when our minister went, he would bring the story of Mary Beth Louise with him. Now, of course, Mary Beth Louise had not been written up by me except in the UCC newspaper. So I never exactly wrote it up myself at that time. Now it's kind of written up. But Mary Beth Louise, you know, every time I tell that story, it's a little different. She came, you know, busting out of my insides and into life. And when my children talk about Mary Beth Louise, they say, oh my, not Mary Beth Louise again. What are you going to say about Mary Beth Louise? But Mary Beth Louise, to me at this time, is real. I mean, she has a personality. Yeah, it's got a similar to mine, but it's a little different. She goes a little further. She has more nerve than I have. I don't have as much nerve as Mary Beth Louise has. So when I need some nerve, I think of Mary Beth Louise. What would Mary Beth Louise do? And wow, then my energies really start working when I become Mary Beth Louise. So I'm going to tell you the first story that I thought of when I was sitting at my job. So I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, I saw this image in my head of myself riding on a bus. And I saw all of these children running around. And I said to myself, wow, I certainly would like to give them a great Christmas. I didn't know if they had a great Christmas or not. Yeah, I was the poor neighborhood of the city, but I didn't know what kind of Christmas. But I wanted to give. She wanted to give, and she wanted to give to these children. So by the time she got home to Mama's house, she had her plan all together. Aha! This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to dress up as Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to go all around this neighborhood, and I'm going to give toys to all the little children. Oh, won't that be wonderful? And then I could play Mrs. Santa Claus, and I could go, ho, ho, ho. I just love to go, ho, ho, ho. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. This is going to be wonderful. I just know this is going to be wonderful. So then Mary Beth what? And all of a sudden, she busted into the house. Mama was in the kitchen at the sink. She busted into the house. Mama didn't even turn around because she already knew the way Mary Beth Louise busted into this house that she had another idea that she probably would not like. So when she heard the door bust open, Mama just stood like this. Mm-hmm. How was your day, Mary Beth? Mama, I got this great idea. Mm-hmm. And what's your idea, Mary Beth? Well, on Christmas Eve, I was on the bus and I saw all these children, and on Christmas Eve, I am going to dress up like Mrs. Santa Claus and I'm going to go out to the streets and I'm going to give all those little children presents for Christmas from Mrs. Santa Claus. Mama sitting there, standing at the seat with her eyes closed. Oh my goodness, here she go again. And then she said to Mary Beth, if you're going to give all your presents to all those little children, do you think you can give a gift to anybody in your family? Oh, Mama, I'm going to give a gift to all my family members, of course. He said, Mary Beth, you know that you don't have a car? Oh, that's all right, Mama, because I'm going to get on the bus. Mary Beth, do you know that it is dangerous to go to that neighborhood at night on a bus by yourself? Oh, Mama, it's going to be wonderful. Oh, I see. I got to go in my room and think a little bit. So Mary Beth goes into her room and Mama standing there at the sink saying, Lord, this is the worst. I know out of all my children, Mary Beth is just a little different than everybody else. I say to you, Lord, please protect my child, because she don't know what she is doing. And whatever it is, she certainly means well. She's a very special child. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, then the weeks went by. Every week, Mary Beth would buy some toys and put them in her room. Oh, she was happy. And she went and got a Santa Claus costume, a skirt. She got a red skirt and she put some fur around the bottom and a fur around a big black belt around the waist. She bought herself a Santa Claus top and made herself a very special Mrs. Santa Claus hat. I wish I had wore it for you today. And time went on. Finally, it was Christmas Eve. And Mary Beth went into her room. Mama, as usual, was sitting at the kitchen table or at the sink, whatever she was doing. She was in the kitchen. And Mary Beth goes in to her room. Mama says, Mary Beth, come out here for a minute. Come here. Now, I don't want you to do this. It is dangerous, Mary Beth. Do you understand me? It is dangerous. I don't want you out there in those streets by yourself. You didn't even get anybody to go with you. Now, you don't do this. Now, you just stay in this house tonight. Mary Beth got a very serious look on her face. She said, Mama, I'm a grown woman. I am of age. And tonight, I'm gonna be Mrs. Santa Claus. Mama said. But Mama, I'll really be careful. I really will. What you expect me to do with all these toys and things? I'll be right back, Mama. I'm gonna go get dressed now. And Mary Beth went back into the room and she got into her costume and she put all her toys in her bag and she tied it up, put her hat on, kind of went to one side, kind of fashionable. And she flung that heavy bag over her shoulders. And she came out that door. And she said, Mama, look at this. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Mama said, oh, please, Mary Beth. Mama, I'll be okay. And Mary Beth went out the door. And Mama said, dear Lord, please protect her. Please, please protect my baby. In Jesus' name, amen. And Mary Beth went out there and she got on the bus. She could hardly squeeze on the bus with all those packages, and she pulled them. And people looking at her like she's totally out of her mind. And she sit on the bus, and when she got to a stop, she got off the bus. She pulled all the toys off that bus, and she walked around. She was so happy. She just walked around and looked at everything. Oh, nobody came near because they thought she was a crazy lady. And after a while, she said, ho, 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 I'm Mrs. Santa Claus. Come and get your gifts, everyone. Well, they came up slowly, but they came. And she started giving out gifts. You know, not one person bothered Mary Beth that night. I wonder why. Might have been because of a prayer or something, huh? And she gave all her gifts out. Oh, by the time night came, she was so tired. Oh, she just wanted to sit down. And she only had just one more little toy left. And this little boy came up to her and said, huh, are you really Mrs. Santa Claus? And Mary Beth said, of course I am. Did I say I was Mrs. Santa Claus? Now let me see what I have for you. And she looked in her bag. All she had was a little teddy bear. She said, you know, I don't have any more little boy toys, but I have this teddy bear. And so I'm going to give that to you. Is Santa Claus going to come tonight? He certainly is. I just wanted to come and see all the children for myself. And the little boy took that teddy bear and he ran on off. But then this woman came up and she said, you know what? You did a very dangerous thing. You could have been hurt. Mary Beth didn't realize that she was sitting right next to this lady's church. And she heard music coming out of there. You know, she wasn't not a very religious person. She didn't like going in churches too much. Come on into my church. Get warmed up. Share Christmas Eve with us. Mary Beth said, oh, okay. And she went into the church and they were singing Christmas carols. Oh, it was so beautiful. And there was a manger, a little baby Jesus there. And they were kind of standing around singing songs. And Mary Beth got this strange feeling inside herself as she looked at the manger and looked at all the people singing. Her heart got filled and tears would come down to her, happy tears. And she didn't want them to see that. So she left the church immediately. And on her way home, people started coming up to her, giving a little thing. Somebody gave her a little painted rock with a face on it and little toy, little airplanes that children made themselves. And they said, here, Mrs. Santa Claus, here, Mrs. Santa Claus, here, take this. I made this for you. Here. Oh, on her way home. And in the meantime, Mama, of course, she's sitting at the table just waiting for Mary Beth. All of a sudden, the door swings open. And there's Mary Beth, and she got this bag full, and she crying, and oh, Mama jumps up, and she just goes and hugs. Oh, baby, what's the matter? What's the matter? Come sit down. And she said, Mama, I just don't know what happened. She said, what's the matter, baby? What's the matter? Did they hurt you? She said, no, but Mama, you know, I went out to give to the children, to give the toys to the children. And I did. And my bag was empty. And this lady, she wanted me to go into this church. And I did. I felt something, Mama. I don't know what it was that I felt. And I left that church. And when I left it, people started giving me, look at this, Mama. And Mary Beth looked at her bag, and Mama looked at her bag, and her bag was full. And she said to her, Mama, what happened? What happened? And Mama said, oh, baby, don't you know? You went out there to give with all your heart. And Jesus gave you so much more in return. And Mary Beth looked at her mama and said, oh, Mama, I love you. And that is the end, or the beginning, of Mary Beth Louise's life in the world as she goes out and learns about the world and has happy days and sad days and in between days, and until she becomes a mother of someone else. And she's going to have to sit there and just maybe, oh, just maybe, she brought into a world another Mary Beth Louise. Yeah, I know Mama somewhere shaking her head and said, payback is something else, baby, but I love you. So it's time to go now, because I've gone over my time, of course, but I want to say to you, Merry Christmas. We're going to have a Christmas program on Christmas morning with guests and children, and join us. Join us and share just a few minutes of your Christmas with us. To say Merry Christmas and allow us to say Merry Christmas to you and thank you for this wonderful year. But right now, I got to go. Read a little, write a little, dream big. I'll see you on Christmas Day. The folks at Cull Books in Hartford want to remind parents, kids need to exercise the most important muscle in their body, the brain. How do you do that? Read. What happens? Well, let me tell you. The imagination soars, the creativity blossoms, the world opens up, and the need to be entertained by outside forces diminishes. Don't believe me? Try it. You won't be sorry. And in time, either will your kids. Cull Book cares about your child's literacy. Join Miss Cleo every week on Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner online at accesstv.org.